I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from?
Lord, in this quiet moment, we come before you with hearts that feel heavy, breathing slowly as we try to gather the pieces of ourselves that feel scattered across the inner rooms of our own weariness. And we ask that your gentle presence would settle over us like a warm light breaking through a long night, reminding us that even when our thoughts feel tangled and our hope feels thin, you have never turned away, never grown distant, never lost sight of our trembling souls. For you are the one who whispers courage into frightened hearts and steadiness into shaking hands. And as we stand in the soft glow of your comfort, let something deep within us finally exhale, finally loosen its grip on fear. And if anyone listening feels the quiet urge rising in their spirit to simply tell you they cannot fight alone anymore, let them find the courage to open their heart even now, because you meet honesty with tenderness, and you hold every burden with hands that do not tremble, offering peace where despair has tried to settle, and strength where exhaustion has tried to claim residence. And so we ask you, Lord, begin this journey with us in a way that feels personal, close, and achingly kind. For you are the one who lifts the downcast and steadies the brokenhearted. And tonight, we dare to believe that you can lift us too. Lord, as we move deeper into this tender space with you, we bring the quiet aches we rarely name aloud, the thoughts that circle in the dim places of the mind, telling us we are tired, telling us we are slipping, telling us we are smaller than the weight pressing against our chest. And yet in the midst of those shadows, your voice rises like a soft dawn, reminding us that you do not measure us by our strength, but by our belonging to you. And you hold us even when we feel too fragile to hold ourselves. So let your nearness seep into every hidden corner where fear tries to make a home, and let your love breathe warmth into the parts of us that feel frozen by discouragement. And if someone listening feels an unexpected stirring inside them, a subtle longing to whisper your name even through trembling lips, let that gentle pull become a moment of surrender where they allow your comfort to wash over the heaviness they've carried alone for far too long. Because you see the tears we never cried and the battles we never spoke of, and you call us precious even when despair calls us lost. So come, Lord, settle over us with a peace that steadies our pulse and anchors our wandering thoughts, reminding us that your strength is enough, your presence is enough, and your heart toward us has never changed. Lord, in this unfolding moment where our souls lean a little closer to your steady presence, we bring the heaviness that lingers even when the world around us insists we should be fine. And we ask you to breathe your quiet compassion over every trembling place within us, for sometimes the weight of despair settles so deeply that even simple breaths feel like a climb. Yet you, in your endless patience, sit with us in the silence and remind us that we are not alone, not abandoned, not unseen. And as your tenderness wraps around our weary hearts, let the truth of your nearness soften the sharp edges of our thoughts, easing the pressure that has held us captive in our own minds. And if someone listening feels a small, unexpected longing rising within them to whisper a simple yes to you, even a weak, whispered yes, let that gentle opening become a doorway for your hope to pour in, touching the places where sadness has dug its roots, and lifting the spirit that has been too exhausted to lift itself, because you are the one who hears the quietest cries and honors the faintest reach for help. So let your mercy settle over us like a warm cloak, reminding us that every broken piece is safe in your hands and every weary breath is held by your love. For you are the steady ground beneath our shaking feet. Lord, as we drift further into this sacred stillness with you, we bring the quiet ache of days that feel too heavy and nights that feel too long, and we ask you to wrap our hearts in a gentleness that reminds us we are held even when we feel hollow. Because sometimes discouragement settles in like an unwelcome fog, blurring our sense of direction and dimming the light within us. Yet you, with infinite tenderness, lean close and whisper that our worth has never faded, our story has never been forgotten, and our pain is not too small for your compassion. So let your calming presence move through the tightness in our chests and the quiet tremble in our thoughts, easing the heaviness we've been too tired to name. And if someone listening feels a sudden pull inside, a soft longing to reach toward you even with the faintest courage, let that inner nudge become a gentle opening where your comfort can seep in like warm light breaking through a shuttered window. touching the places that have felt numb and awakening the hope that once felt impossible to reach, because you understand what words cannot speak, and you hold what our hearts can barely carry. So come, Lord, steady us with your peace, breathe quiet strength into the tired corners of our souls, and remind us that even here, even now, we are not too far for your love to find us. Lord, in this continuing hush, where our weary hearts lean into your quiet faithfulness, we bring the burdens that have settled heavily in our spirits, the silent struggles that leave us feeling fragile and stretched thin, and we ask you to breathe softly over the places that ache with loneliness or discouragement. For you know how the mind can wander into dark corners and how despair can whisper lies that feel louder than truth. Yet you come with a calm that steadies us, reminding us that your hand has never slipped from ours and your gaze has never turned away. So let your nearness surround us like a gentle embrace that speaks directly to the deepest parts of who we are, easing the weariness that has felt unmovable. And if someone listening feels the faint rise of longing within them to simply breathe your name or to let you into a place they've guarded tightly, let that quiet urging become a soft opening where your light can enter, warming the cold spaces and lifting the heaviness that has lingered too long, because you see the silent battles and the trembling hearts, and you meet them not with judgment but with tenderness. So come, Lord, settle your peace over us like a steadying blanket, and let your hope seep slowly, deeply, beautifully into the parts of us that need it most. Lord, as we follow this gentle path deeper into your presence, we bring the weight that sits heavily on our souls, the exhaustion that makes even simple moments feel overwhelming, and we ask that your tender compassion would move softly through the tangled thoughts that leave us feeling unsteady, because you see the inner storms we try to hide, and you understand the quiet battles we fight in silence. Yet you come with a love that does not rush us or expect us to be stronger than we are, a love that meets us exactly where we tremble. So let your steadying peace flow through us like a warm current, touching every corner where discouragement has taken root. And if someone listening feels something gentle rising inside them, a yearning to whisper a small, "I'm here, God," even through tears or uncertainty, let that tender stirring become an open door where your comfort can enter, filling the lonely spaces and easing the heaviness that has pressed down on the heart for too long. Because you are the one who gathers our scattered pieces and calls us precious even when we feel broken. So come, Lord, breathe strength into our tired spirits, draw us close to the safety of your care, and remind us again that even in our lowest moments, your hope is still reaching for us. Lord, in this quiet unfolding where our hearts continue to lean into the gentleness of your presence, we bring the fragile parts of ourselves that feel overwhelmed by the relentless weight of sadness, and we ask that your calming spirit would surround us like a soft cloak, easing the tired pulse beneath our ribs and soothing the anxious tremors that rise without warning. Because you understand how despair can whisper that we are alone, and how discouragement can make every step feel heavier than the last, yet you draw near with a stillness that steadies us, reminding us that nothing in us is too shattered for your kindness, and no moment is too dark for your light to gently seep in. So let your love wash over the thoughts that spiral and the emotions that feel too tangled to sort. And if someone listening feels a tender shift inside them, a quiet longing to whisper even the faintest "God, I need you," let that small, brave breath open a space where your peace can settle deeply, comforting the places that ache and lifting the heaviness that has clung to their spirit. Because you are the one who stays close in the shadows and holds us when strength feels far away. So come, Lord, wrap us again in the reassurance of your presence, and let your hope rise softly within us like the first hint of morning. Lord, as we move deeper into this tender place where your nearness feels like a quiet shelter, we bring the parts of our hearts that feel worn thin by unspoken sorrow, the hidden fatigue that settles into our bones and whispers that we are running out of strength, and we ask you to meet us here with the gentleness that has carried generations before us. Because you understand what it is to feel human frailty, and you never turn away from the souls who come to you trembling. So let your soft compassion settle over us like a warm hush that steadies the inner storms and slows the racing thoughts that have stolen our peace. And as your calm presence moves through the corners of our minds where discouragement has lingered, ease the heaviness that has pressed down for so long. And if someone listening feels a subtle warmth rising within, a quiet desire to open their heart, even just a little, and whisper a fragile God, I trust you with this pain. Let that gentle stirring become a small doorway where hope can enter, touching the places that feel bruised and awakening the courage that despair tried to bury, because you are the one who sits with us in our weakness and calls us beloved even when we feel lost. So come, Lord, breathe steady strength into our weary spirits and remind us that even here, in the midst of our deepest discouragement, your love is still holding us together. Lord, in this deepening quiet where our souls find themselves, slowly unclenching in the warmth of your presence, we bring the weight of the emotions we've tried so hard to outrun, the slow ache of mornings that feel heavy before they even begin, and we ask that your tender mercy would move gently through the thoughts that keep circling back to fear, because you know the battles we fight behind calm faces and the silent questions that echo through our minds when no one is around. Yet you remain the God who leans close without hesitation, offering comfort that does not demand we be stronger than we are. So let your peace settle into the restless corners of our hearts and soften the tightness that sorrow has formed within us, easing the pressure we've felt for far too long. And if someone listening feels a quiet trembling inside, a small longing to finally let out the words, God, please be near to me, let that tender moment become a gentle opening where your hope can slip in and begin to soothe what feels too deep to reach, because you see every shadowed thought and every weary breath, and you hold them with a compassion that never diminishes. So come, Lord, wrap us once more in the safety of your presence, and let your whispered reassurance begin to lift the heaviness that has clung to our spirits. Lord, as we walk further into this gentle hush where your presence feels like a soft light resting across our weary souls, we bring the lingering heaviness that has followed us through long days and uncertain nights, the quiet sorrow that settles in our chests without permission, and we ask that you breathe tenderness into the places where our strength feels thin, because you know how easily discouragement can wrap itself around the heart, and how despair can whisper that nothing will change. Yet you come with a calm that steadies us, and a love that refuses to let us slip away unnoticed. So let your comforting nearness flow through the thoughts that have spiraled too long in the dark, easing the tension that has held us captive and soothing the fears we've struggled to name. And if someone listening feels a soft stirring within them, a gentle nudge to whisper, Lord, I'm reaching for you, even if I don't know how. Let that quiet moment become a tender doorway where your peace can gently enter, touching the aching spaces and reminding them that they are not forgotten, because you are the one who gathers our trembling hearts into safety and breathes new strength into the places where hope has grown dim. So come, Lord, rest your compassion over us again, and steady the fragile corners of our spirit with the reassurance that we are deeply held. Lord, as we continue moving through this quiet, sacred space where your nearness feels like a gentle hand resting over our trembling hearts, we bring the sorrow that has lived inside us longer than we know how to explain, the discouragement that rises like a tide without warning, and we ask that your kindness would seep into every hidden place where exhaustion has settled, because you understand the weight of unspoken pain and the way sadness can blur even the simplest hope. Yet you draw near with a patience that never rushes us, offering rest to the parts of us that feel worn thin, and comfort to the corners of our minds that feel too fragile to uncover. So let the warmth of your presence soften the heaviness pressing against our chests, easing the tight, weary ache that has been pulling us down. And if someone listening feels that gentle pull inside them, a quiet urge to breathe out the words, God, I need your help right now, let that tender whisper become an opening where your peace can pour in, surrounding them with a sense of safety they haven't felt in a long time, because you are the one who stays when everything feels uncertain, who holds us steady when our thoughts grow dark. So come, Lord, draw us closer still, and let your love become the soft ground beneath our shaking feet. Lord, as we move even deeper into this tender stillness where your presence feels like a quiet shelter around our weary souls, we bring the emotions that feel tangled and heavy, the moments when our thoughts seem to run ahead of us, and our hearts struggle to keep pace. And we ask that your gentle compassion would move through those inner places where anxiety and sadness intertwine, because you see the struggles we can't quite put into words and the silent battles we fight beneath calm expressions. Yet you come close with a love that doesn't demand perfection, a love that understands our tears before they fall, So let your peaceful nearness soften the tension held deep within us and unwind the tight knots discouragement has tied around our spirits, easing the heaviness that has lingered far too long. And if someone listening feels a quiet trembling rising within them, an unspoken longing to whisper, "Lord, please hold me together," let that tender honesty become the doorway where your comfort enters, filling the fragile spaces with steady warmth and the reassurance that they're not carrying this weight alone, because you are the one who walks with us through the darkest valleys and breathes hope into the places that feel forgotten. So come, Lord, wrap us once more in the safety of your love and let your strength begin to lift what our hearts can no longer bear on their own. Lord, as we linger in this quiet place where your presence feels like a soft whisper settling over the deepest aches of our souls, we bring before you the heaviness that seems to echo through every part of us, the quiet discouragement that makes even hope feel distant, and we ask that your tender mercy would move slowly, gently, lovingly through those hidden spaces where despair has tried to take root. Because you know how sadness can press down on the heart until breathing feels like a burden, yet you draw close with a compassion that does not flinch at our weakness or turn away from our trembling. So let your peace flow through the restless corners of our minds and ease the aching tension we've carried in silence, loosening the grip of fear and softening the shadows that have lingered too long. And if someone listening feels the stirring of a fragile longing inside them, a quiet urge to whisper, "God, please don't let go of me," let that tender moment become a gentle doorway where your hope can enter, touching the wounded places with warmth and lifting the weight they were never meant to bear alone. Because you are the one who stays near when everything feels uncertain, who steadies us when our hearts feel unsteady. So come, Lord, surround us once more with the comfort of your nearness, and let your gentle strength begin to rise within us like a soft, steady light. Lord, as we rest in this deep and quiet stillness, where your presence settles like a soothing balm over our weary spirits, we bring to you the parts of ourselves that feel stretched thin, worn down by constant inner battles, and the heaviness that lingers even on peaceful days. And we ask that your gentle love would move tenderly through the spaces we've struggled to open, because you see the fatigue behind our smiles and the silent cries we tuck away where no one else can hear. Yet you meet us with a compassion that never shames, never pressures, never turns away. So let your calming nearness ease the tightness in our chests and soften the anxious thoughts that have circled for too long, loosening the weight that discouragement has tried to anchor in our hearts. And if someone listening feels that small trembling inside, a quiet urge to whisper, "Lord, I'm reaching for you even though I feel broken," let that brave, fragile honesty become the tender opening where your comfort enters, surrounding them with a warmth that reminds them they are not alone, they are not forgotten. Because you are the one who gathers our scattered strength and breathes peace where fear once lived. So come, Lord, wrap us again in the certainty of your care, and let your gentle hope begin to rise like a soft light in the dimness. Lord, as we continue in this sacred hush where your nearness feels like a quiet hand resting over the most fragile places of our hearts, we bring before you the heaviness that has clung to us through sleepless nights and long, silent days, the deep discouragement that whispers we are running out of strength. And we ask that your tender mercy would breathe gently through every aching corner of our minds, because you understand the weight we hide behind steady voices and the sorrow we tuck away beneath daily routines. Yet you approach us with a kindness that never demands we be stronger than we are, offering rest to the weary and compassion to the wounded. So let your calming presence soften the shadows that have lingered in our thoughts and loosen the tension that has wrapped itself around our spirits, allowing even the faintest sense of relief to settle over us. And if someone listening feels a soft stirring within them, a trembling urge to whisper, "God, I'm trying to trust you, even though I feel so tired," let that quiet confession become the doorway where your comfort can gently enter, soothing the weight that has pressed on them for far too long and reminding them that they don't have to carry any of this alone, because you are the one who holds us when hope feels far away and breathes new strength into the places that feel worn empty. So come, Lord, stay close to us here and let your gentle peace continue to rise within our weary souls. Lord, as we move deeper into this quiet sanctuary of your presence where our tired hearts can finally breathe without pretending, We bring the muted ache that lingers beneath our daily steps, the discouragement that settles like a slow and heavy cloud, and we ask that your gentle compassion would seep into the places we've been too afraid to name out loud, because you see every hidden tremor, every weary thought, every small moment where we've wondered if we still matter. Yet you come close with a tenderness that doesn't rush our healing or diminish our pain, offering instead a steady love that meets us exactly where we are. So let your peaceful nearness soften the weight pressing against our chests and ease the quiet panic that sometimes rises without warning, loosening the grip of despair that has held on for far too long. And if someone listening feels a fragile longing stirring within them, a quiet desire to whisper, "Lord, please meet me in this place," let that tender reaching become the gentle doorway where your comfort can flow in, warming the cold spaces and reminding them that even in their lowest moments, your hands are still holding them, because you are the one who gathers our brokenness without hesitation and holds our trembling hearts with unshakable care. So come, Lord, remain near to us, and let your hope continue to bloom softly within the dim corners of our spirit. Lord, as we linger in this tender quiet where your presence feels like a gentle shelter around our fragile hearts, we bring the ache that rises in waves, the moments when discouragement feels heavier than our breath, and we ask that your compassionate nearness would move through the deepest places of our souls, because you understand the silent battles we fight in the dark and the exhaustion that settles beneath every tired thought. Yet you draw close with a love that never shames our weakness or asks us to pretend we're okay, offering instead a refuge where our trembling hearts can finally rest. So let your calming presence soften the heaviness we've carried and ease the anxious tightness that sometimes tangles our thoughts, loosening the grip that despair has tried to maintain over us. And if someone listening feels a quiet stirring within, an unexpected longing to whisper, "God, I don't know what to do, but I open my heart to you," let that soft and vulnerable moment become the gentle doorway where your warmth enters, touching what feels untouchable and lifting the weight that has pressed on them for far too long. Because you are the one who stays when everything feels uncertain, who breathes peace into the places where hope feels dim. So come, Lord, draw even closer now, and let your tender strength continue rising within us like a soft, steady dawn. Lord, as we come to this final stretch of quiet surrender where your presence feels like a soft light resting over every fragile corner of our hearts, we bring before you the remaining weight we've held on to, the last threads of discouragement that cling to us even now, and we ask that your gentle mercy would sweep through our spirits with a warmth that reaches where our own strength cannot. Because you understand the layers of sadness we carry and the moments when despair feels louder than truth, yet you stay close with a love that does not waver, inviting us into rest that goes deeper than exhaustion and healing that reaches farther than fear. So let your calming nearness soothe the weary places inside us and breathe tenderness into the thoughts that still feel unsettled, loosening the final grip of heaviness that has lingered too long. And if someone listening feels that quiet stirring inside them, the tender urge to whisper, "Lord, I give you what I cannot carry anymore," let that sacred moment become the doorway where your hope flows freely, touching every worn place and reshaping their breath with peace, because you are the one who holds us when we feel undone and lifts us when all we can manage is a trembling yes. So Lord, place your gentle blessing upon every soul gathered here. May your light rest softly over their minds. May your strength rise quietly within their hearts, and may your peace surround them like a warm and steady shelter, now and in every step ahead. May this prayer find a safe haven in your heart, bringing peace where there was once heaviness, light where there was once shadow, and hope where discouragement tried to dwell. If this message spoke to you, if it brought comfort, warmth, or just a small sigh of relief, allow it to reach other hearts that need that same touch from God. Like this video, share it with someone who is facing difficult days, and let more lives be embraced by the same presence that embraced you today. May the Lord envelop you with His peace, strengthen you with His grace, and accompany you every step of the way, now and forever. Amen.